Well, hello everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
Got a little bit smaller crowd tonight. Yeah, my name is Matthew Heines, and I have some really good news. I just released, or actually I haven't released it yet. I'm going to upload it tomorrow to Amazon. My second, what I call, Squatchumentary. So what is a Squatchumentary? Besides being an author, running for Congress, and other things, I also do a podcast called Encounters USA. And what we do is we look into the mysteries of aliens, Bigfoot, and Dogman. But we're also looking into other phenomenon of people, or I should say entities, that people really don't agree if they exist or not. Like people that voted for Joe Biden. So there's a little political humor for you. But we'll get back to the political humor in a little bit. You know, a lot of people are asking me, about, what's the story, Matt? What's the story of your life? And I'll tell you, it's not a good one. Grew up poor. I told you guys last week, I came from Sequim. You guys remember Sequim? You know Sequim? Mm-hmm. Small town. It used to be a lot smaller. In fact, it was so small.
How small was it?
It was so small, the city limit signs were on the same post. So really, really small. And I'll tell you, we were the poor family in town. We were really poor. In fact, we were so poor.
How poor were you?
Yeah, we were so poor. Our house was really run down. In fact, it was so run down, the city dump sued us for copyright infringement. And we lost. Yeah, it was really bad. Our house was so run down that homeless people would bring their kids by just to see how good they didn't have it. So it was pretty bad. And our outhouse actually got honorable mentions in Better Outhouses and Compost Piles, but it's a good thing. Yeah, and growing up in Sequim, a small town. I don't know if you guys, I guess Snohomish, pretty small town. A small town is a place where everybody knows your name and your driving record. So that's kind of like how Sequim was. And being from a poor family, it really didn't help me much, especially when it came to school. I didn't do so well in school. In fact, they identified me early on as an alpha male. That's because I couldn't pick up the alphabet very easily. So alpha male. So school was pretty hard on me. When I got into high school, I just really didn't get it. Did not know attendance was mandatory. I always thought homework was more of a thing you did on your own recognizance. Actually, I liked high school, planned on making it a career, but that didn't work out after 4 years. They gave me the boot, and things kind of went downhill from there. Got into a gang, lots of violence, weapons, drugs. Yeah, I was in the 82nd Airborne. That gang thing didn't work out. I mean, first of all, the thing about the 82nd Airborne is, a lot of gangs, you have women, but not in the 82nd Airborne. And I think there's a reason for that. Most women do not want anything to do with a man that will jump out of a perfectly good plane. They like the ones that fly them, the ones that jump out of them. No, I can leave that alone. Another thing that was wrong with the 82nd is that the Army, I figured out quite early on, does not seem to have a sense of humor. Like they have MOSs or job specialties, like for people that do artillery, or for me, like I was the infantry special forces guy. and all these different MOS.
Hey everyone, hope you are enjoying this special Encounters USA Comedy Fest with Encounters USA host Matthew Heines. Now check out that fantastic shirt he's wearing. You can get a lot more like this and a lot more fantastic designs by Matthew Heines at EncountersUSA.com. And you can get a fantastic book of jokes called HEINESSIGHTS, Wisdom for the Ages. All you got to do is go to EncountersUSA.com. Now let's get back to the show.
Different MOSs, but there's none for like comedian or playwright or a songwriter, whatever. So I think that it's really hard to get really ahead as a comedian in the Army. So after the Army, I got tired of the drugs, the weapons, and the violence, and I got out of the Army and developed a huge drinking problem. That's right, I graduated from Wazoo. Yeah, graduated from Wazoo. I'm proud to say with a 3.8 blood alcohol level. So, pretty proud of that. And then I actually, people who are actually not good at school become what? Teachers, right. So, exactly. Ended up teaching. Actually, I went to graduate school up in Anchorage. And when I graduated, I got a seal skin and some mucklucks. So, just the same kind of graduation ceremony you normally have. And yeah, I've had a really interesting teaching career. I've taught Alaska, Washington, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and actually met my wife in Oman. And I've talked a little bit about my girlfriend, so I think it's time I'm going to talk about my wife. And I love my wife dearly. And the reason I love her so much is because she has a sense of humor, which she has to have to be married to me, right? So when we got married, I actually went, she was teaching high school, I was teaching university. And I went to, I got the ring and everything. And, Oman and other countries are not the same as the United States. Culture is a big thing. And I lived over almost 2 hours away from her. And by the time I bought her wedding ring or her engagement ring, that news already traveled like 2 months. I don't even know how they did it so fast, but by the time I showed up at her house to propose to her, I called her on the phone. I said, I'm outside. I got some important stuff I want to talk to you. She said, well, I won't be home for about 2 hours. So, in fact, I was in church when I was going to say yes to me. And anyway, so we decided, unbelievably, she did say yes, still having that sense of humor, but getting married, being Christians in a Muslim country, not the easiest thing to do. So we had to find a Christian preacher. And we found one, and this guy's just looking at me, and he's got a really, really bad scowl on his face. And finally he broke down. He says, all right, tell me the truth. Are you pregnant? I said, well, no, I'm getting menstrual cramps really bad about the first day. He didn't have a sense of humor. And I won't say that we had, it wasn't really your normal shotgun wedding. I mean, like my wife wasn't pregnant, but I forgot my wallet and I couldn't pay the preacher. So, speaking of shotgun weddings, I actually attended one earlier on. And that shotgun wedding was more of the father firing his shotgun at me during the ceremony. Interrupted everything. Yeah, it's been a pretty rough life, and I think I told you guys at the beginning that I'm interested in politics. I actually have run twice, and we are now gearing up for the next election season. So I'm just throwing around some campaign slogans that maybe I'm going to try on you guys, like this one. Vote for Matthew Heines, or else. Vote for Matthew Heines. He won't kill you. All right, well, let's try this one. Let me see. Vote for Matthew Heines. He's not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
So, nothing there. All right, so how about this one? Vote for Matthew Heines. He is an educator. He's worried about your kids. He's worried about your community. He's worried about the country, and he's worried about enforcing the laws for everybody equally. Or just vote for him anyway. All right, so before I go, I think I got a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you guys a couple of my career things that didn't really work out so well. One thing that happened a couple of months ago, got a job as a tree surgeon. They told me to leave. Actually got a job as a loan officer at a bank, but I think they lost interest in me. So I joined a gym the other day, and I think it's one of those running gyms, because when I walk in, everybody starts running. So, all right, everybody. Well, that's it for me tonight. Thank you. Don't forget to take care of your